So I just watched this video of Trevor Noah talking with some guy. He's an influencer. I don't know his name. But he said Trevor started with, he's amazed at how people in power are leading and really have no idea what's going on. And this guy started mentioning that, well, they're really good in some areas and they're not so good in other areas. And he delineated between people who are good at strategy or strategists and people who have skills that are called tactile skills or tactical skills, like in the military. And basically he said that people who have tactical skills think they're good at strategy, but they're not. And people who are strategists don't fool themselves into thinking they're good at tactical skills. They get other people to do that work for them. Period. In my mind, I'm like, that the difference is that you have tactical just means hands-on, like the word tactile. It means, it's probably the root of the word's probably hands, okay? So the people on the ground doing the work develop these skills that are very technical in nature, and they don't need to look at the big picture as much, but they have to have an idea a little bit as to how they fit in to the greater mosaic. And a strategist is like a chess player and has to just know what all the different pieces do and move them all in a way so that the overall objective gets accomplished. So, but my issue is that there needs to be a bigger overlap between people who do work that aren't hands-on and people that do work that are purely imagining what's going on the ground. If there isn't enough overlap there, we have bad results. Just like if the general of a military and army has never been in the military, he doesn't know what it's like to load a gun, how long it might take to load a gun, what happens when the gun's wet, on a ship, if the captain doesn't know the jobs, that dozens of other jobs that are on a ship, he has no idea how to put it all together. So this idea that you're born a strategist is my problem. And I think that either there's two reasons this happened. People are either A, afraid of manual work, they're taught that it's dangerous, or B, it's menial, meaning that that hands-on work is below them and that they're from a station, a class of life, class of people that don't do that work. It's just below them. So those two ideas and I think the first one, the fear is that it's dangerous, is true. I think being a carpenter, you might cut your finger off, or rigging the sails, you might fall. So yeah. However, be afraid of that, but people do it, and they do it their whole lives. And some people retire doing it without major injury or death. The second thing is the idea that, I think this is a cultural thing, that people go to university and all the hands-on work is below them. I think they're missing something in the world. They're cheating themselves out of an experience. So I think I've met a lot of people who do a lot of different work, and they ended up like John Stewart likes carpentry. He does it for fun. So does a lot of people have picked up menial or tactical work, or technical work is another word, technical. I'm not sure how far technical is away from tactical, is away from hands-on, but something to do with the idea that the details matter. That's the difference. Somebody doesn't care about the details. I have another example of, I worked as a ground maintenance person and did some cottage repair for a really wealthy guy who was in finance and the pharmaceutical industry, and somehow he's made millions of dollars, and he bought a multi-million-dollar cottage, and he needed somebody to actually do the cottage stuff for him, build beds, fix the dock, the weed blower, move jet skis, Sea-Doos around, things like this. And I did that for him. and for a little while realized he knows absolutely nothing. I couldn't have a basic conversation of what needs to be done, why it needs to be done, because he would just have to Google it and try to figure it out. And even AI wasn't helping him. He just had no idea what it's like to live on a lake. He's only Airbnb'd. He's a condominium living person in Toronto, from Toronto. And he's even from India, I think his name was Singh. So my thing here is that I've experienced this since day one, because I grew up in an industrial town where people were proud to do manual work. And there weren't that many jobs that were purely ministerial, or as he would say, strategic. So we have to do both. Strategize, because there weren't enough people to do the strategy part. We had to do that. And I disagree that I do know that there are times where I'm not good at planning. I could be better at planning. I also believe that I overplan sometimes, because the world on the ground is way too dynamic to plan it all. And with the weather that's super dynamic these days, people are crazy and insane, and even the roads we travel on, there could be an accident 5 minutes from here and it changes my whole plan. So fine, have a strategy, use all available tools. But when the boots hit the ground, you better be technical, and you better be able to have that tactical awareness of what the fuck's going on. That's my 2 cents on that. I think the Venn diagrams of the strategist and the tactician need to overlap a little bit more in society. That definitely we need to teach our kids how to do that, even in university and college and in work, in high school even. So I don't know what to say about that, but dividing people up into classes wasn't really a smart thing for a small town like Sault Ste. Marie, and I don't think it's going to be good for anywhere else, but maybe we need to do that. I don't know. Convince me I'm wrong.